appreciate the comments that were shared tonight. I would echo what Councilman Kritzman said earlier, and certainly appreciate where Councilman Jolly's coming from, and frankly, on a few points, would agree with him. I will say, one thing I think we need to remember when we use the phrase spending taxpayer dollars, we're not spending taxpayer dollars, we're taking less. This is money that's not there now. And for a period of time, we're taking less. We're not spending anything that's there. And I think that's an important designation for any government at any time to remember when we start talking about these types of items. I have struggled with this, as we all have. We all know the time that we've spent on this. And it's been a really good opportunity because as has been mentioned, this is the third brownfield that we've considered. And as such, even though we have phenomenal department heads, and I know we have a very diligent Brownfield Authority Commission, I felt, and it's why we had some of the subsequent meetings that we had, I felt that we needed to take some time to think a little more strategically as to how we use these incentives in the future. We've done that. There's still more discussion to be had on that, for sure. But as I've struggled with this one and gone through what I, after all those conversations, see as the criteria for something like this, frankly, this doesn't meet a number of them. But there's one that really sticks out to me, and that is the fact that this site, almost more than any other, is one that I've been asked about as an eyesore in Livonia for a long time. And if we had a developer, and frankly, it's complicated somewhat by the fact that shovels are already in the ground, but had a developer come to us before any of this, with a chance to redevelop this site, as long as it's been sitting there and with the way that it's looked, I would have been pretty eager to jump at a chance to help them out with an incentive, which is exactly what this is. And it's an incentive that's to our disposal, and we use various kinds of incentives for different projects through the city. This is not anything real new. So that's one thing. But another thing that really kind of seals the deal for me in supporting this at this point is the fact that I think when we talk about being a business-friendly community, that trust is a pretty important issue. And while none of these things are ever, and Lormac Stern has been through enough of these things, they know nothing is ever guaranteed. So there was nothing ever promised or guaranteed. And yet at the same point, this is a developer with which we have history, that for which I think we have a lot of respect, and I think there was, to some extent, an element of good faith based on past history as to what was reasonable in this case. Now, so based on that, I would hate to jeopardize that. And so having struggled with this and been on both sides of this, I guess I fall down on the point of support. That's what seals the deal for me, is I don't want to, I want to honor what I perceive as that good faith. And I think we've even seen another example tonight of a developer trying to work with us to come to a fair solution. And at the end of the day, they're taking a property that's been an eyesore and making it into something productive. All that being said, I'll just speak for myself, obviously. My reasoning here tonight should not be interpreted as a policy going forward. I think we have a meeting that we'll be having early next year to wrap up this discussion of what our strategy is with these brownfield credits and or incentives. And future developers, I imagine, that will come before us, that will be very clear. And that reasoning will go into that good faith, those good faith conversations that future developments have with us. But for those reasons, with where we stand tonight, I'm ready to support this. And I like Councilman Kritzman's modification. I think that's beneficial for the city in a number of ways.